Hey everyone, it's Jen with Chappy Plans. Thanks for joining me for another Memory Planning Monday video. If you'd like to see how I use this, stick around. Hey Chappy Fam, thanks for joining me for today's video. This is a new Storyline Chapters insert from Heidi Swap that has tape stuck to the front. What the heck? Anywho, this is an older edition. The newer ones have the monthly view in the front, followed by enough weekly spreads for the month, and 3 months go into this. This is one of her original designs, so it's got, I think, about enough paper for 6 months. And she quickly realized that that was not going to work because it just gets too thick. So just to give you an example, I just finished my very first Storyline Chapters insert, and this is 3 months. So she is thick and gorgeous, obviously. So for this week's Memory Planning Monday, I'm actually just going to do a flip through of my first Storyline Chapters insert. I will not actually be doing a process video, so I guess I kind of teased you in the beginning, but this is what it will be next time. I have already dated it. I'm due to just having a crazy week, just really busy. I am going to film all of this off camera, and I'll come back and show it to you for next week. It is going to be April 4th through the 10th. So you'll have to come back next Monday to see how I use this. Let me jump into this one. So 2022. And this was our first week here where we came back from Michigan with COVID. So that was a lot of fun, and that is me just kind of giving an update on our COVID journey and being quarantined. And I actually was able to like reorganize my craft room and get some things done and rearrange some things, even though I was homesick. And then when we finally were able to get out, we took Norah to Dave & Buster's. So that's just a little picture and journaling about that day. And that was my first ever spread, and I really like how it turned out. This is the 10th through the 16th. And things were getting a little bit back more to normal. This was like a little private journaling card I made. So I'm not going to read that, but it's tucked away in there in that fashion intentionally. And then you can see I used a lot of the washi throughout this week in order to kind of tie everything together. And I took a screenshot of National Sticker Day spread that I made. It took forever to make it, but it was a lot of fun making it. So I wanted to include that in there, and how I am journaling a little bit about being reunited with my adopted mom. I had spent a couple of years sort of distancing myself. And so at the beginning of this year, I felt like it was time to reconnect. And so that's some journaling about that. And then we went to a Disney on Ice. So there's some photos and journaling about Disney on Ice. And then the 17th through the 23rd, I'm using a lot of Jen Hadfield's products on this page, and American Crafts paper. And then I tried some stamping on the page. Here I'm very new, so I haven't really had a lot of experience at all, but I loved this little pocket idea and putting in some spots for journaling on different tags. I really like the look of tags. And then a screenshot of our itinerary for heading to California this summer, and a picture of Boba Fett, the book of Boba Fett, which we watched together. And so that was this week. I love the colors. And then the 24th through the 30th, I had this idea to do a bunch of little 2x2 photos and cards. And this is a New Beginnings week, which is why it says I can do it, because I decided to start exercising and eating healthier and really taking my wellness journey seriously because my cholesterol was very high. And so this is just some journaling about how they said I need a cardiac CAT scan, and just I tried my first workout, and that's a screenshot of my progress, what I look like. the very beginning of my journey, which I'm not going to share with you because it's not cute, but that's what's behind there. And then just a photo of us in our matching jammies, and then our church's carnival that we had, which was really fun. And so journaling and photos that are related to that event in this little vellum pocket that I made. In hindsight, I don't really love this vellum pocket, even though I was trying to bring in some of this pattern on this side. I think it's a little bit too much. I would have probably liked this pattern as the pocket and then using the vellum up here somehow. But you live and you learn, right? And so now we're getting into the first week of February, and I needed to use rainbow items because winter in New York is just like literally half the year. So I was ready for rainbows, even though that's definitely not the vibes and the weather that we were having. But these are a lot of products from Vicky Bouton's color storyline. Really, really enjoy her products as well and her aesthetic. And y'all know I love my rainbows, case in point. So this is just journaling about her play date and Norah being really silly, just some like everyday things, nothing crazy going on. You know, we had a huge snowstorm, so I journaled about that. That was just my way of practicing stamping on vellum, which didn't go very well, as you can see, but that's all right. And then I snapped a photo of Matt at his worship meeting. And so, yeah, it was kind of a low-key week, but it doesn't need to be a crazy week full of all these crazy adventures to have some fun and bring some color and play with your supplies, right? And then this is February 7th through the 14th. And so Norah had red day at school, and I journaled a little bit about Monday's busyness. And then this photo of Norah and her classmate racing little robots that they made, and some journaling in a pocket I made here where I took a snapshot of my very first Ali Edwards story kit contents. And Norah had a school dance, which she had a blast at and ended up pulling a hamstring because she just had way too much fun. And then we had our winter fest, and our church was participating in that. So I wanted to create, like, there was a lot of photos and journaling. So I wanted to create like kind of a double pocket. So I had this little sleeve here that I made, and then this photo of my associate pastor, myself, and my daughter all tripleting. Unintentionally, but so funny that we were. And then that's the view from our horse and carriage ride. More journaling, and of course my husband and I did get to go on a date, which was on Super Bowl Sunday and the day before Valentine's Day. So that is some journaling about our little date. And real Valentine's Day is this day, but we had already celebrated this past week. Norah did come home with a ton of candy from school. So that was me practicing some stamping and adding in some stickers. And there's Norah's loot right there. So much. So many goodies. And that's why the text is happiness. And you can flip down and do some reading. And that was really fun. I just wanted to make this. This was very, again, all of this is very DIY. I know this is supposed to be a paper reinforcer and not a closure piece, but you know, I'm having fun trying different things, making different interactive elements. Super funny super funny photo of my cat chilling in his bed under my craft desk, embracing the stuff that's awesome right now. That's from a story kit from Ali Edwards. And so are these hearts are from Heidi Swap's kit, Stop the Blur kit. And I loved these little index tab cardstock tags. So this one says this and that, there's always something, and some journaling about just feeling like it's a never-ending week of doctor's visits. She had her allergy follow-up appointment. She had her regular doctor, and then she ended up needing to go to the doctor again because her hamstring was still bothering her. So we wanted to make sure that it wasn't anything major, and it wasn't. And then I cut up this was a 4x6 journaling card that came in a story kit from Ali Edwards, and I cut it up because it was awesome and not awesome, so you can see that I've used some of the awesome elements that came in that kit. And I really enjoy the challenge of incorporating more than one design or story kit or different brands and trying to make it all work as one. That's a lot of fun and also challenging, which is why I think it takes me forever to film a process video. But anyways, the story was, it was awesome that we all were feeling well enough to go out to dinner on a Friday. A lot of times we order takeout, but we all wanted to go out. And the not awesome part, and here's Norah and her daddy, was that she woke up in the middle of the night with a really bad stomachache and ended up vomiting everything and then some. So I wanted to include that in there. And then there's a photo of me starting to organize all the pantries in the kitchen. It is a very unflattering photo that Norah took, so it stays behind that that little vellum pocket that came from a Heidi Swap kit. And then down here is Norah just cutting up some pieces of broccoli and some journaling about my first time on our ministry team at church. And of course, Norah, it says little sous chef. And I wanted to bring in these alphas because they were on the left side of the page as well. And then we're going into our winter break, which happened from the 21st to the 27th. And I lost, some of these don't sound very well. I need to remember in the future to adhere these down with additional adhesive. But what I did was I took a 4x6 journaling card from Ali Edwards' amazing or awesome kit and cut out all these little awesome bubbles and used those as my journaling backgrounds. And so this is a photo I've got Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Norah and her friend on the swings and Norah doing some cutting. And then I took her to Dave & Buster's on Wednesday, and Thursday, before her friend Olivia and Norah went out, she learned how to tie her shoes. So I love this photo of her, like just the joy on her face, how proud she is of herself. So that's Norah and Olivia at a trampoline park. And then this did not come out at all the way that I wanted it, but that's okay. I'm still going to show it to you. You live and you learn. This is a vellum pocket. I don't know why I did that. I felt like it looked too naked once I had this 3x8 cardstock on here. And the idea that I was trying to do was have something pull up for every day. And it was not executed well. I'm a total noob. So I think, now that at this point, I was not subscribed to Heidi Swap's Stop the Blur class. And I think if I had been, I would have been able to execute this much more efficiently and have it work the way I wanted. So unfortunately, that's not what happened, but I'll show you anyway. This was the idea. It says, woke up to another snow day, photo op at the library. And then there's journaling on the back of that. Just says, we spent the afternoon all together and took Norah to the library for glow-in-the-dark mini golf. She's reading so well, so we grabbed several I Can Read Dr. Seuss books and some others too. And then this is a photo. See, it's just not. It didn't. I cut the slits too wide. I failed. But this is Norah doing her mini golfing. And this was our Sunday Feast and Friends, which we do every fourth Sunday at our church, where it's just a potluck after service. So I tried to bring in, these puffy sticker rainbows on both sides. I tried to incorporate these vellum rainbows on both sides. I tried to incorporate the cardstock, the glitter cardstock, but it just didn't translate. It just did not turn out the way I wanted. So it's kind of a fail, but it was a learning experience for sure. And I think that's part of the process. Like with any artwork, you look at the finished product and you might be like, what is this? But it's not necessarily about the finished product. Sometimes it's about the process. So that was this one. And this is, going into March. So it's the last week of February, first week of March. It's really the last day of February. And here's a lot of elements from the Awesome and the Begin kits from Ali Edwards. Love this washi, and I can't find it anywhere. So I'm very bummed about that because it's probably my favorite from Heidi Swap. So this was me just documenting my brand new journey doing these storyline chapters inserts in this style of memory keeping. And these elements are from a Heidi Swap Stop the Blur kit. There's Norah and her cousins. And it just folds out like this. So there's journaling there, and then this little plastic tag that says making happy memories using the printable from the class, because at this point I just started the class and I wanted to play with as many elements as I could. I made this little vellum pocket here, again with more journaling and how excited I was to hit 4,000 followers and to have Heidi Swap share my items. And she sent me like a voice message on Instagram in my DMs, just saying that she was enjoying seeing my process and was glad that I became a part of this community. And I obviously wanted to document that. And then I took Norah, she had early release on Wednesday, so I took her to Panera, and that's just journaling about that. And then Friday, there we are at dinner. And then Norah wanted to join in on the fun of her own memory planning, so she's creating her own spread there. It's so cute. And some journaling just about my Stop the Blur classes. So I worked on that a lot because it was the weekend I was supposed to attend Go Wild, which is a giant planner conference, and it was in California. I had tickets. I bought my plane tickets. I paid for the room, and I ended up not going and just deciding to stay home for several reasons. But during that whole weekend, all I did was play with this. So it was lovely. I think I honestly probably had more fun staying in my craft room and making all the things, if I'm being honest. Okay, so this is the March 7th through the 13th, and you know, the war in Ukraine, and so I am journaling just my lament about that, my feelings surrounding that, and Nora's first slushie of the year, so I just made this little sleeve with some journaling. And then this super funny story about how I found the cat's 8 million pipe cleaners underneath our faux fireplace there. That's why it says laughing. And then loving this, it says playing, and it's Norah on her way into the house from picking her up after school and just loving the snow. And this is my favorite picture of her. And then more journaling. This is her at Girl Scouts, painting her bird. This is like a water, what is it called? Words, Jen. Bird bath. And then that was her playing with some Play-Doh there. So journaling, and tucks into this pocket, and that's me playing with stamping. And then this is another opportunity where I wanted to put this vellum pocket in here with some more tags about, it's journaling regarding Girl Scouts. So it was just me having fun. I mean, using a brad, not really doing anything intentional, just playing, really. Playing with different ways to journal. Okay, and then this is journaling about Friday, how we watched Turning Red and ordered Chinese food, and my husband made us bubble tea. And then again, my cat being himself in our craft room. And then a tag about how I spent the weekend, or Saturday, I guess, creating an organization for all of my distress oxidings, because my collection is growing, obviously, due to, I blame Auntie Heidi for wanting me to, you know, get all the colors. There's only like maybe 8 or 9 that I don't have at this point. But that was a lot of fun and a tedious little project. And then this was the book that I started at this point, so I wanted to document that. And I also created a little flap here and a photo, which is a screenshot of my Norah and I attending Amy Tangerine's private Zoom, which was really fun. Okay, now we're in mid-March, and this is just a way I wanted to put some photos behind this Words for Me tab. So there's a picture of, you know, signs of spring with the shoots coming up. And again, these currently circles are cut from an Allie Edwards story kit, early wake ups, and that's me doing Nora's hair like her teacher, her favorite teacher. Norah and Matt on his birthday, and journaling about how we pulled off this surprise. And then there's Norah and her classmates. And it was my husband's 40th birthday, so we surprised him, and he got to go to lunch, or not lunch, dinner with his friends at Rusty Nail. And so there's some journaling, and I just wanted to play with this. I wanted to try stamping. So this is journaling about my husband turning 40. And a lot of these items are from Obed Marshall. I think the kit is called Buenos Dias, or the collection is called Buenos Dias. And then this is a little pocket that I made of our Friday adventures. We took Norah to the park. I think my husband stopped working early or something like that, and we ended up taking her to the park, and I'm just trying my hand at stamping. I love this tag that I created. And journaling about how it was a hard week, but we all rallied and went to the park and just really needed some sunshine. And then Norah feeding the ducks with Matt, which is one of her favorite things to do. And really on this spread, I'm trying to get as much stamping in as possible and just practice my stamping. And then another birthday celebration was for our friend Mariana, and Norah was like the only kid there and just loved being with all the adults. And so I made this little pocket here. There they are with journaling and more journaling tucked away in there. Okay, and then last full week of March, this pocket was such a fail. This was supposed to be the accordion pocket from the Stop the Blur class, but it just didn't, I didn't do it right. But I love, this might be one of my favorite weeks. Norah was really sick this week, and then in here is just journaling. Again, me practicing making a tag with journaling, more and more layers and tags. These two tags are from a Tim Holtz kit, and then I loved how I did these ombre rainbows using most of the colors of Distress Oxide inks that I used on the rest of the spread. And then this was my attempt at making a little journaling part about how Norah was sick and just journaling about that. So that was fun. Not Norah being sick, but making that. And then here's another journaling card from Allie Edwards about Nope, Not Awesome, and the story about Norah being sick and then having all these tantrums. It was just a really, really hard week. And so I wanted to write all about that. And then this is finally, you know, Norah's feeling better. And so I wanted to document, one, that I put makeup on and real clothes, and two, that I was feeling good about it, because I am still, you know, on my health and wellness journey. So this is me wearing what I call hard pants, aka jeans, and actually fitting into the pair that I could not wear before. And so that is just some journaling about that. And then again, another stamping. I stamped on some sticker paper there. And then a tab about taking Norah to her friend's birthday dinner at a hibachi. And then this just has some more journaling. I don't think there's any photos. Yeah, it's just journaling. Talking about church. And this little pocket down here has journaling and a photo of Norah and her little friend taking a selfie together, which again was another photo I wasn't aware was taken. So I love when that happens and turns out so cute. So I printed that out. And that is the last week there of March. And then my very last spread in my Storyline Chapters album is this one, which is Monday morning was their school assembly, and her class was presenting about self-control, and there's some journaling just tucked behind there. And I was just writing how ironic it was that that was what they're presenting on, because Norah had such a rough week the week before with tantrums. And that's why there's the no talkie before coffee printable piece there. And then there's Norah being goofy with her slushie, and we were playing Connect 4 together. And so there's just some journaling about that and how she's feeling better. And in this case, I used this like pink vellum. And then practicing stamping again and trying to mimic all of those elements on the different stamping elements that I used. This is a tag, nothing behind it, just wanting to practice stamping and also wanting to bring in this blue ledger paper here to match over here. And the middle of the mess, my favorite escape, my crafter. and journaling about that. And then this was from that's my friend Brittany, who's also my pastor, and we were attending Beauty and the Beast that our friends' children were in. And then this is a screenshot of my adoptee Zoom. So there's a bunch of my friends. We meet virtually. Try to meet every week, but doesn't always happen. And I love that little tag there. And then this vellum pocket, again, to balance the vellum pocket on the left, has a couple of teeny photos of Norah being really super silly Saturday morning. And I had a bunch of space I wanted to take up, so I just used this. I was like, oh, perfect. I can mimic the glitter die cut. I can use some washi and some stickers, and so I did. And then I created this tab with photos of Norah and Matt. Matt was grilling outside, and Norah's flying on the swings there. And that is about it. Just some journaling. That was me playing with my new We Are Memory Keepers frame tool. So that's it in this January through March memory keeping insert. I probably need to put January through March here. And at some point I might try to get fancy and like make cutouts and decorate the front. I'm not sure, but right now I'm just feel like I'm still really learning and absolutely loving this process. Let me know what you think of my very first Storyline Chapters insert. If you've been here for my Memory Planning Monday series, I really appreciate it because I am brand new to all of this. I'm always open to take suggestions, know what your favorite products are, your go-tos, and some of those tools that you can't live without. Let me know what they are in the comments. Any questions, as always, leave them below, and I will link at least, not obviously the individual products, but I can link the subscription kits I'm a part of if you want to take a peek at that. And I do really appreciate you hanging out with me this week. If you did like this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and hit the bell so you don't miss any of my content. And I'll see you next time. Remember that you are enough. Bye, my friends. Take care.